Keep it going for your host, everybody. Ryan McComb, a straight white man. Keep it going for me, your feature act, everybody. A straight white man. Keep it going. Keep it going for your as of yet unseen headliner this evening, a white man whose personal preferences I am not privy to. Keep it going. It's gonna be a great night. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to be here. This is fun. Keep it going for the club for letting us do this tonight. Keep it going for your wait staff. They're out there working hard for you. Keep it going if you think this whole me saying keep it going thing is just me trying to get away with the fact that I forgot this was a clean show and I don't actually have 20 minutes of material. Keep it going if you think that that's what's happening. That's good. Keep it going if you think that that has nothing to do with what's going on, that I probably got plenty of material, that I worked really hard on this, and that it's going to go fine, and I've definitely got another 19 minutes and 28 seconds. Keep it going if you think that's what's happening. Everybody, 19 minutes and 20 seconds. Keep it going if you think this is not a cheap trick. Keep it going for the troops overseas, keeping everybody safe and free. Keep it going. This is exciting. This is, to my understanding, this is the first time that the Spokane Comedy Club has done a clean show where we've invited underage people to come in and do the show. I think that's kind of cool, right? That's pretty rad. That's a nice opportunity. 18 minutes, and I think that's important. I think that's good. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of it. I've been struggling with self-confidence lately, and I've been in plenty of situations where people tell you, if you're nervous, you just imagine the audience in their underwear. I've never been in one where I could go to jail for it, though. This is fun. This is high-stakes comedy. We're all going to have a great time here in Spokane. I'm happy to be in Spokane. I miss Spokane, man. This is a cool town. I'm from here. I moved away. I moved to Chicago. I lived in Chicago for 2 years, you guys. I lived in Chicago. I didn't go to Chicago for my career. I didn't go there to be a comedian. People think that you did. That's not why I did it. I did it because of my health. It turns out there's no greater cardiac exercise than waking up every morning and remembering you can't afford your apartment. Just I spent 2 years over there. Chicago's an amazing city. If you haven't been there, you gotta go. It's pretty good, man. Only city in the world I've ever been to where the wind manages to blow in every direction at the same time. You lick your finger, you stick it in the air. You know what happens? The skin just peels off like a banana. It's body horror. It's awful. I like Chicago. It was pretty cool. Here's what I learned about Chicago. If you ever want to go visit, here's what I learned. It turns out that every building in Chicago has a deep, rich, meaningful history to the people that are from there. They take it very seriously. So what you do if you visit, you get into your Lyft or your Uber, you say, "You're from here?" He says, "Yeah." You say, "What building is that?" He says, "That's the John Hancock building." You say, "What building is that?" He says, "That's the Sears Tower." Well, it used to be called the Sears Tower. It's not called the Sears Tower anymore. And then you just keep doing that for the rest of the ride. But from that point on, you only point to cell phone towers. Just for the next 20 minutes. Hey, what building is that? What's that one? Is that Andrew Lloyd Wright? Is that another Andrew Lloyd Wright? Anyway. Moving over to Chicago, first thing that I learned after a couple of weeks when I was there, I found out that Chicago is the city that they based Gotham on, from Batman. I didn't know that. I don't think it's true. Here's why. The Riddler has been operating in Gotham relatively problem-free for the last 70 years. I got lost on the south side for 2 hours and almost got shot twice for wearing green. I don't think it's real. That's where I learned about Chicago. But I'm back now. I'm back, you guys. I'm back in Spokane. I love Spokane. I'm happy to be in Spokane, man. This is a cool city. I'm proud to be from here. Anytime that somebody asked me where I was from, I always took a great deal of pride in being able to say, the place that made Rachel Dolezal, as well as, I'm struggling to think of a second. That's fine. Bing Crosby, I guess he did blackface too. The point is, I'm back and I missed you guys. This is a cool city. This is a great city. Are you kidding me? Do we have our problems? Yes, we do. Did the police get a little bit shooty a couple of years ago? Yes, they did. Is our only definable landmark a tent that used to be a tent and isn't a tent anymore? Yes, it is. 45 years ago, somebody threw up a giant tent, and 2 weeks later it stopped doing its job. Somebody at city council went, you think we should do something about the, And somebody else went, meh. And now it stands 45 years later as a testament to man's ability to, 16 minutes. And yes, we have our problems. The rules can get a little funky around here. Up can be down. Black can be white, apparently. But I think that's what I love about it. We may be the most polite city in the country, nay, the world, sir, that a clearly Dutch woman approached us as a city. She said, I'm black. And we as a town looked back at her and said, fine. You know what? Chase your bliss. You're the queen of the black people. That's fine. You know what I love the most about Spokane? Here's what I love the most about Spokane. Movies and TV shows have been featuring Spokane as kind of a catch-all town for decades. And they haven't figured out what it looks like yet. Spokane, according to movies and TV shows that take place in Spokane, Spokane could be anywhere. Spokane could be a desert oasis. Spokane could be a tropical island. I'm pretty sure it was a planet in the new Star Wars. It could be anything. This has never been more clear to me than when I watched the episode of Criminal Minds that takes place in Spokane. Let it be noted on my Yelp review later tonight, sir, that I got that right. "14 minutes. So what happens is, if you haven't seen the episode of Criminal Minds that takes place in Spokane, you must. It's a perfect example of what I was talking about. Nobody knows what Spokane looks like, right? The episode opens. A young woman is driving through Spokane's bountiful wheat fields. She goes to call AAA. She can't. You know why? No cell service. Because she's in Spokane. That's when two gentlemen, heroes if you're asking me, pull over to help her, only they're not there to help her. This is an episode of Criminal Minds. They're there to take her into the woods and hunt her for sport, like we do around these parts. Come around town to burn the Wicker Man. And they're just general Spokane types. Overalls with no shirts. And they're driving Mater, the tow truck from the Cars franchise. And where the episode goes from good to great is when the Criminal Minds show up to stop the bad guy, the FBI or the CIA. I don't know what they are. I have like a job and I like girls, so I don't watch a lot of TV. But the thing that happens, they pull up to the Spokane Police Department to help them solve the mystery of what happened to the girl on the side of the road. And the Spokane Police Department, as depicted in this episode of Criminal Minds, is, I'm not exaggerating, just two double wide trailers that have been scotch taped together. They're held together with a string and a wink and a prayer. There's a moose head up on the wall, and the moose isn't all the way dead yet, and it keeps licking people's crotches as they walk by. Just smack it, it'll quit. And the entire Spokane Police Department, as depicted in this episode of Criminal Minds, is made up of those two guys that were trying to catch Luke and Bo Duke for all those years. And they are flabbergasted by the guys that come in, right? They are just blown away. Oh, God darn. We sure is glad you big city coppers managed to make your way on down to Spokane, Washington and help us solve our crime problem. You know, up until you showed up with your manners of deduction and your logical reasoning, only way we had to solve a crime was to stick our head out the window and scream, "Did you do it?" and hope someone said yeah. But we sure are glad you're here. Let me tell you something, my friend. I wasn't 100% comfortable with your presence when you first arrived. When you managed to climb off of that metal bird that you're traveling, and you walked out talking on the magic box that lets you speak with your friends no matter how far away that is, I gotta tell you, I was a half a mind to wrangle up a posse and string you up as the devil's consort, but I'm glad I didn't. We sure is glad you managed to make it down to Spokane. Tiny little blip on the map that it is. Surprised you could even find it. Population 223,000, 102nd biggest city in the United States. I'm sure glad you did. We feel so much safer for your presence. Only way we had to feel safe until you showed up was at our daily 2 p.m. ritual where we scream at the sky in the hopes it'll be too scared to throw the sun down at us for another day. So thanks, big thing of cops. Oh, what time is it? 2 o'clock? Ah! Ah! So I'm happy to be home. I miss this place. You know, it's been ages. I left for 2 years. The place has changed so much since I left, you guys. It's practically unrecognizable. The tent that used to be a tent but isn't a tent anymore has rectangles on it now. Dozens of them. There's no more homeless people thanks to Nadine Woodward's campaign to tase them on sight and put them into forward-thinking progressive factories where they can make us shoes and refine the whale oil for our lanterns. I think that I'm glad she did too. The hardest part of my day was always the upwards of 2 minutes I had to spend acknowledging that people had a harder life than me. But so much has changed. All my friends got sober since I left. Kind of hard not to take that personally. Because you do, you meet up with an old friend, and you're like, hey man, it's been a couple of years, you want to go get a drink? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Ever since you left, I haven't felt the compulsion to escape my reality through chemicals. I don't know. It's fine. I realized that maybe I should stop drinking. I realized that I may have a drinking problem through the help of my church. Don't worry, this is a fun story. So, I went to church this week. I know people get kind of nervous when a comic starts talking about church on stage, and rightly so, and it's fine, and I just want you guys to know, I'm not going to say anything offensive. I'm not even talking about real church, it's just Catholics. So, what happened was, I haven't been to a church in about 10 years. I was raised very, very Catholic, and I haven't been in 10 years. I'm not angry about anything about the church. I don't have anything personally against them. I wasn't an attractive enough child for that to be the case, but like, I just hadn't gone. And then I went and I stayed with my old man. I stayed with my old man in town. I was helping him out with a project. I got there on a Sunday morning. I was like, where do you want to start? And he goes, well, we're going to start by going to Catholic church. I don't know if you want to go to Catholic church, or you could stay here and watch Netflix. just laying the guilt on hard and thick and chunky. And he goes, but if you want to go to Catholic church, that's fine. I'm like, the way the guilt is pouring out, I think I'm kind of already there. But I wound up going to Catholic church where I realized that I may have a drinking problem. It all comes together at the end. So I went to church. I went and I sat down in the back corner where nobody would bother me. That's where guilty people feel like they need to sit. And I forgot that it was Catholic church, so everybody just sat right next to me like they belonged there. That's bad manners on a bus, let alone church, but it's fine. They all sat down right next to me. They all wanted to say hi, hello, and shake my hand, which I'm against on principle anyway, but it's fine. One of them sneezes. I'm the only one that says God bless you, which I thought was ironic. And we went through the whole, I don't know if you guys know, in the last 10 years, they changed all the words to church. Apparently it's a part of the new Pope's whole thing to bring in young people, but I feel like it was just a trick to make me look like an idiot. Because the priest goes, the Lord be with you, and I'm like, and also with you. And he's like, lift up your hearts. And I'm like, we lift them up to the Lord. But everybody else just started singing Bad Guy by Billie Eilish and walking on the walls. I was like, he's not kidding around. Guy's not kidding around. We get through the whole church. The priest goes up and he starts pouring wine. And I start to freak out because I'm like, you know what, we got coronavirus going around. I don't know if I want to share a cup with everybody. But then he cuts it with a bunch of water, and I'm like, is that going to be enough booze for everybody? What kind of party is this? And then he goes out, and he doesn't even bring the wine. He just gives everybody crackers. It's all crackers, no juice box. That's what this church was. And I was like, what's going on, man? Why am I not getting infected with anything right now? You expect us to all just sit here for an hour and not get drunk at all? What is happening here? Give me my Zika juice. Baby needs the Zika juice. I went to church this week. That's when I realized I might need to calm down a little bit. Also, I think self-improvement is so important. We've got Valentine's Day coming up. That's great. It's the most magical time of the year. It's when all of our friends on Facebook who complain all year about being single really, really double down. This is going to be, I'm going to get a little personal here for a second. This is kind of a rough Valentine's Day for me. This will be my first Valentine's Day without my girlfriend. Because we got married, and that's rough. Been struggling with it. I met a girl, and she's fantastic, and we live together. She's a remarkable girl. I don't want to talk her up too much. She's a girl. She's like every other girl, just better. And we moved in together. We live together. Living with a great girl is so much harder than living with a terrible girl. If you break up with a wonderful girl, all of your friends know exactly whose fault it is. If I break up with her, I know exactly what all of my friends are going to think. Whose fault was this? Do you think it was the woman who made everybody homemade bath salts for their birthday? Or do you think it was the man who took homemade bath salts for everybody's birthday? I've almost been married before you guys. I almost got married one time. There's lots of reasons to get married. There's love, which is like, but I almost got married for one reason and one reason alone, and that is this. I am a compulsive gambler. And it turns out there's no thrill greater than looking another human being dead in the eyes and saying, I'll bet you have my stuff, you'll love me forever. And then you spin that wheel, and here's the fun part. The wheel doesn't stop spinning until either you lose or you're dead. 2, 1. Thank you all very much for having me tonight. My name has been... Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all. Good night.
Tom Meisford, everybody. Yeah. Love that guy. Love him. You know who I love more? The headliner tonight. You guys ready for your headliner?